Hi there, welcome back to the homestead and another one of my videos. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and share with everybody who you know. That is the only way that I'm going to become rich and famous. Okay, maybe not rich or famous, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about, right? So today I'm going to be building some climbing wall grips or rock climbing grips, if that's what you want to call it. And I will be taking the build right from casting the mold itself to casting the actual grip. AMT Composites South Africa have come on board as a partner for today's video. So I spoke to Nigel at the head office in Johannesburg and Natalie down here at our New Germany office. And they have sent me a really great care pack in order for me to make today's video. So guys, for all of your epoxy needs, casting silicones, go check out AMT Composites. These guys are really fantastic. The pricing is really great, and I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring today's video. The pricing is really good. So I'm going to post their website details in the description. Go check AMT Composites out. So let's get going with the build then. The first step in building grips, of course, is to have a shape that you're going to cast your mold out of. This is normally done by using floral foam or plant foam. Here in South Africa, we call it Oasis. It's a little green block which florists use to poke the flowers into and create these really nice, floral creations. So, normally you would cut out your shape, according to what you want, mold it, give it texture, and then you would pour your casting silicone over that in order to get the mold itself. In my case today, I've just pulled off a couple of grips off my own wall in the back, and I'm going to cast those shapes just for purposes of the video. So this is what we're going to do first, is of course to create some sort of a well in which you're going to put your grip into, or your form into, and then we're going to pour the casting silicone into that. I use hot melt glue to stick it in place. Remember, you've got to stick this form in place as well, because what will happen is when you pour the silicone into it, if it's lighter, especially if you're using the plant foam or the Oasis, it's going to want to float up. So make sure that you stick that down as well. So I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to cut out this carton for all of the different shapes. When I come back, I'm going to show you how I glue it. Make sure that you use enough glue, because the last thing you want is when you pour the casting silicone for it to actually start oozing out. I've had that problem previously, and when that happens, there's nothing that you can do about it. Let me cut up the carton, and then when I come back, we start then gluing together. So in order to make up the actual mold itself, we've got the casting silicone. So it's the AMT Mold Star 16 Part A, which is a 1/2 kg. And then you've got the AMT Mold Star 16 Part B, which is another 1/2 kg. Then on the other side, they've sent me the ISO F160, which is the Part B and Part A and Part B of the F160 casting resin. So let's get going into making the actual mold now. Before you cast your mold, you want to make sure that the table you're working on is 100% level. If you can't get it level, then make some sort of leveling table, and I'm going to show you how I did this. Very, very easy, very, very inexpensive. I had a little bit of scrap plywood lying around in the shop, and all it is I've drilled, put in a nut and bolt there to act like legs, and then you can adjust those up and down depending on what your level looks like. When I start using the silicone to cast my mold, I know that my mold is going to be level. The last thing that you want is for your mold to sit at a lopsided angle. When you come in and you're actually pouring the resin in, your molds come out bent. So make sure that your table is as level as possible. I've gone ahead and created the wells to pour my casting silicone. So As you can see, that's what it looks like. I've tried to use as much hot glue as possible just to ensure that we don't have any leaks. So hopefully I've covered everything and we're not going to get any leaks. Okay, so I'm about to use the Molestar 16. It's a 2-part casting silicone, and basically it's you use it in a 1-to-1 ratio based on weight. So my tips for you when working with this is stir very slowly so as not to create lots of bubbles in it. You know, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, make sure that you're getting everything and you're mixing each one properly, and then you can go ahead and combine. Let's do that, and then when we come back we can then see what it looks like. Okay, we're about to start combining this too, so I'm going to pour that way so you can see what's going on. Okay, now I'm going to start pouring part B, or part A actually, into it. This is where you've got to get a move on with it, because it's got to cures very quickly, this thing. Okay, I've got this mixed up and I'm about ready to pour. So you're going to pour slowly, and I'm going to start with the big one. And you can see I've left a bigger space on that side just to try and get everything in there. So I'm just going to allow that to settle in there for a second. And I'm going to move to that one. Try to pour slowly in there so that it gets into the hole without any bubbles. Continue with that one. So let's let that dry, and once it's dry we can come back and then take a look at it. It's the morning and you can see this casting silicone has now dried. I was fiddling around with it a little bit yesterday, so you can see there's a bit of a bubble there. That doesn't affect anything though. So I'm gonna start now popping it out of there. And the reason why we use the the food packaging with the shiny surface is that it peels off pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it all out, and then when I come back I will show you what the mold looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to very gently now sort of pop the mold off. There we go. That's a grip in there, so we're going to clean that up. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to take a blade and I'm going to cut around there just so it comes out neatly, and cut around there because I don't want to break that piece in the middle. It can break off. I've broken that one off while using it, and you can see yesterday when I was casting this lot I put the put the grip back in there, and I've managed to fix it up. So hopefully that lasts long. So let me just pop the other one up. Comes off very easy, which is why I'm using the Perspex. It's a pretty shiny surface. So I'm going to clean those up. I'm going to pop it out of the mold. Pops out very easily. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm just being careful so that I don't break that off. And then when I come back, I'll show you what the mold looks like. So basically it's going to look like that. So that's what the mold looks like. I see the color has changed. Not really sure why. So these are now ready. I'm going to start casting the first two molds. I've got my two mixing cups there for part A and part B. I've stolen the scale out of the kitchen. I'm just covering it up there so that I don't mess it. And to cast the grips, I'm using the F160 part A and part B, and the AMT white marble dust as a filler. So I'm going to pour. I'm going to go with part A. So 110, and I'm going to put in so 100 grams of filler. Okay, so 100 grams of filler, and I'm using the AMT blue pigment. So I'm going to pop that in there, and then I'm going to mix that quickly. I'm now going to pour 110 of part B. Great. And then I'm going to put in 50 grams of filler into that one as well. So this should give me 160. Okay, so great. So I'm going to mix that up and then I will combine. So you can see the part A, which I've done in blue. So I'm going to pour that in. Once you get to this stage, time is definitely against you. So, you know, you need to get your hustle on. So we just got a couple of minutes and then it starts to cure. So okay, let's combine that up. So you don't want to stir too fast. Obviously you don't want to create bubbles in there, but you want to make sure that you're mixing up all of the marble dust in there as well. So I'm about ready to pour. So let's do that quickly. I'm trying to get some of that marble dust into this one. It tends to get stuck at the bottom of the container. So I'm just going to grab the camera here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just fiddling around in there just to make sure that I get that marble dust spread out evenly. Else it all sits in one spot and then defeats the purpose of putting it in there. I can feel it sitting in the bottom of that mold because it's an oddly shaped grip, this one. Right, so that looks good. let's give it 20 minutes and then we'll come back and pop it out. It's been about half an hour or so. Let's take a look at this. I'm just gonna pop it out like that. Pretty easy. And then I don't want to break that middle piece, so I'm gonna try to be gentle with it. Just pull it through. There you have it. A perfectly casted rock climbing grip. And I'm just going to grab the original. So that's the original grip which I casted from. And look at that. Perfect. So let's try and pop the other one out quickly. Let's see what that looks like. This is a little bit of a funny shaped, oddly shaped one. So it's a bit tricky, but let's try and do the best here we can. Try not to damage it. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And there we have it. That looks pretty good. I like the color. And that's the original grip it was casted from. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I think we'll call that a successful build. So thank you to AMT Composites South Africa, Nigel, and of course Natalie down here in our New Germany office. Thank you for coming on board and sponsoring this video. I'll put up the details in the description. And yeah, so once again, thank you for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share this video. Share the hell out of it. So from the Suburban Homesteader, I'm out.